was going to say good morning, but realizing that it's not morning everywhere in the world, including where some of my subscribers I definitely know are living, and they're getting ready for the party. They don't have to do a whole lot to get ready, but it's always my intent to try and get back to sleep because even though I've been a bit of a slow point, and I don't, and during the day I could, and today's supposed to be cloudy, and if I tire myself out enough, maybe I will doze off a little bit. I usually have a late afternoon-ish nap, um, and rest, as you can see, it's working. and oh hi, how are you? I commented you back on your comment to my post. By the way, you can see that later. It didn't go to my notifications, but feel free to check it out in a moment here. This isn't going to be a long one because yes, and it's always my intent to. It's like just before 7 a.m. in the morning. It's always my, and I'm not sure if you noticed the title or just saw that it was live. Either way, it's always my intent to get back to bed at this time of day. And I guess I turned down the radio enough, but not completely. I don't hear it at all, really. But to get back to sleep, and my spouse gets up to do a fitness thing and that um, before getting up and, doing, feeding the dog. Doesn't need a sandwich made today. Um, and feeding myself for that matter. And then I have some coffee, and even if the day is going slow, sometimes I still struggle to get back to, until and I also worry I won't be able to nap, but sometimes I'm still not, I just it's just too short a time frame, and even if I've expressed a lot during the day, sometimes I'm thinking about the great podcast that I did or whatever, you know, happy that it's great, of course, but so this isn't the party, just so you know, and that's also part of the title. But I just wanted to share something that transpired. Yeah, it's fairly light though. Is that better? It's partly because my hair is a little bit wild. I don't have my hat uh, at the moment, um, and I'm planning to go back to bed. But I just wanted to share something that happened. So, um, and yes, like I say, I hope you'll see my comment on that post later too. But like I say, I recently lost a friend. I should actually, although I think I ran out of space, although it seems like there's more space on the cell phone when I do it. And there's also a glitch it sometimes does, so that's another reason. Although it was fine last night, well, I don't want to be too long. But um, I did add a little bit in the description, and maybe I'll add this in. Because, as you know, not to go on about it much, but, doesn't matter how light it is, I just want to hear the story. Okay, well, but I think that this is better lighting. And to me, it matters a bit, but okay, cool, I'm glad to hear that. Did you notice the title, or did you just notice that I was live out of curiosity? Anywho, so this is me in the morning, and I've got a sheet on because it's chilly. Um, it's a fancy one, though. It looks like a bit like a party outfit, so I could see why you might have thought, let's get plus the expectation of the party, which will still happen. The next podcast I do might be in about 3 hours, but I'm really hoping to see happen that me and G will do some music and have some laughs and you can join us on that later. I just later live, yeah, later this evening. Yeah, I got that typo, but thank you. um, later this evening, and that's, I mean, I appreciate the company when he's not here doing that with me, but I think it'll be even, for me anyway, it will, and I think for you all, it would be more special then. But anyway, back to the story. So I woke up on my birthday here, and I pretty quickly thought to myself, research diabetes. It's also apparently Diabetes Awareness Month. I mean, so many things should just be constant, as far as like, not just a month, not just a day, you know. Anywho, but I was not very awake. In fact, I think I was coming out of a dream that I don't even remember anything of, even instantly. And I found myself going in and typing in um, I forget exactly what I typed, but anyway. Then I came downstairs. I decided I'm going to save having cake for tonight with G. We might do other things in the next couple of days, but a lot of our closest people are virtual or at least long distance, so therefore virtual as well, right? Or in heaven, you know. So basically, I came downstairs to take something else out, which I almost didn't find. It was in the freezer, and I didn't think it was going to be, and I had to rummage through the fridge. And the brand name is a bit of a trigger to me. And the first thing I heard is my friend who passed away to diabetes in heaven and is now in heaven. The first thing I heard is, "You will have a great day musically. Uh, Try not to be triggered." And I mean, easier said than done sometimes. And I just realized that this was unplugged all night and it's going to die. So I guess I'm going to have to go to the bedroom with it because that's where the charger is. So just a moment. I'll plug it in. You may briefly lose me, and then we'll continue. Just a moment here. And this thing dropped. Was that from you, Squid, by the way? Now I can put my hat on. Oh, and there's the chapstick. The chapstick. You know how much I love that stuff. Well, it's actually kind of more of a need. Just a moment here. Okay. So I might just not get back to sleep. Maybe I'll doze off later and then hopefully have a good nap. But I couldn't keep this in because G doesn't leave till about just after 8. That's an hour away. Anywho, so that was the first thing I heard. I was gonna have I was gonna make myself a nice sandwich at lunch today, but instead I decided maybe I'd rather have it in a wrap. I'm just noticing how strong that fan feels. Is that on? Is that the first setting? I don't know. Anyway, so glitching to me putting my hat on. Well, lucky you. Hopefully it looks okay at my end, and it was a yeah. Hopefully it becomes okay on your end. Anywho, let me know if it's better. Don't just think to yourself, okay, good, it's better. I mean, you're pretty good at expressing, but I need to know. Is it better? Before I continue? A quick yes will suffice. It looks like it's being fine on my end. So, it's good now. Okay, good. So, and yesterday there were samples of this. I share them when they happen. When they happen. Because they're just so amazing. It's just so special to me. And I think it gives hope to others, hopefully, as well. Um, and basically, so it's early morning here for those that don't know, and I'm as good. You could tell them they're like, what is he? Why does he look so? Actually, I don't look. I'm using the cell phone, and I've said before that sometimes I feel like I look cross-eyed more on the cell phone than the laptop screen. I'm not sure if I'm seeing it now, and if anything, at 7 in the morning, I should. No, just kidding. Anywho, so I was gonna make this sandwich for my birthday. A little bit different than I usually make, and I'm not sure if it's gonna work actually because it's um, ground meat instead of well, plant-based though. But not that I'm. Anyway, we don't have to get into that. But then I thought we do have wraps. I thought we had two kinds actually, but I thought we do have wraps, and that might be better because I also have this interesting mushroom gravy I kind of want to use. People have gravy on sandwiches, but if it's bread sandwiches, maybe if it's toasted a little bit, I don't know. It just seems like it just seems like it would be too soggy. Anywho, so first it was the brand name, and like I said, which I don't not going to worry about repeating, and then she said, and I also suggested that you look up the thing about diabetes. That was with my help essentially. And she says, I want you to be healthy, bud. Now, I'm real ambivalent about this. And like I say, in a couple hours, aside from the music, or maybe it'll just be a talk one this morning, another chat one this morning, maybe a song or two, and then, give us some song requests, suggestions, either ahead of time or in the moment. We're kind of okay with that too, for the most part. And we'll do. It'll be, there's no guarantees in this life, but I'm going to be at home, so I should be pretty okay and safe. If I have anything, I have pre-diabetes, but I'm not sure about that. But if anybody from the center sees this, um, please realize just how very special it is to me, uh, to be learning and to be making connections. Let's just say that. Okay. Uh, and and by now I actually should have learned a lot more to really, give a lot of information about diabetes, but people can look it up. A lot of people know. I mean, it's in some ways not that complicated. Anywho, so I'd like to get back to sleep though. And I can't remember what else I said. Not much, believe it or not. And then I came upstairs, and one of the reasons for people that may be wondering, that I use, we got seven of you here, well, that I use the lip stuff is because, and it's slightly embarrassing maybe to mention, but whatever, and it's not that, I don't know, a lot of people probably struggle with it, to be honest. Like, I don't have, like, not to be graphic, but, everybody does at some point in time. I don't really have, like, peeling, what it is, sorry about that, don't know what happened there. Last, seventh, we got six of you. Feel free to like, subscribe, comment. If you haven't already, hit the notification bell. Now it's down to two, but anyway, whatever. Um, Channels about wellness, uplifting, doing music, psychology, chatting, all that good stuff. Anywho, so I came upstairs and I didn't see the one, but I had by the bed. The mattress hadn't moved that much through the night. I have a bit of a little cushion because I don't have a table, that I use as a table, and there wasn't a gap, and we got nine of you here now. Welcome, and I couldn't find it in the usual spots there. And I thought, and one thing that's causing, and part of the reason why I have this, by the way, is that I believe it's anemia. I'm quite sure about that. And so one of the things that helps with that is diet, but I have ARFID. But also, taking things like vitamins. Sometimes if I think I've eaten decent in a day, I won't worry about it. Apparently, I'm supposed to take them with food. And I don't know if there's such a thing as taking too many different types of vitamins. I've got one type right now. He's got vitamin C there, but I don't know if I'm deficient in that. Anywho, so basically, I couldn't find the stuff. I thought, what causes my, oh, right. So I was like, okay, maybe I should take a vitamin. So I went downstairs to get the phone, which was at 85 something percent before yeah, cool. Hopefully they join in. But honestly, I can't be too long right now, but I will be back in a couple hours. I'll be back. Speaking of Austrian and Germany the other day. What was it? G said there was a sitcom based on a James Bond parody. I forget what that was that we were talking about last night briefly. We weren't watching it, but and something weird happened with the video that I had in the playlist where that kind of came up too. Um, Basically, I went from it. Last night I had a reason I can't remember, this morning, but now it's not even in the playlist. Anywho, it would be in my watch list though, so I could go. It's an 8 hour marathon of a game show. Anywho, we got five and then nine. That's cool. Yeah, the numbers are really good this morning. I guess this is a. But again, numbers are great, and I appreciate you all here. Likes are better. Subscriptions and hitting the notification bell and commenting. Commenting is never forced but invited. Anywho, so I thought, okay, I'll go take a vitamin. The phone was down there. It was at like 85% when I went to bed. Never touched it all night. Was rolling for like what, 4 or 5 minutes, and it says 5%. So it's good. I'm getting it charged now. Anywho, so all of this I feel very rapidly, without being awake very long, transpired, and I did sense my friend Ray. And so she's looking out for me, and that's very special to me. Our angels are always, of loved ones past, even people that maybe have been more of acquaintances. They always care. They're always trying to do what they can from the other side, is what I believe. And they're always, watching there. And if you listen strong enough and you're aware enough and you slow down enough, I mean, sometimes, even though I have a slow lifestyle lately, in some ways, I can still be like, you know, rambling in a podcast for 2 hours and then moving around a lot in the kitchen. And I have ADHD, but I can very much focus on what I'm doing too. But I mean, it all started at the age of 25. And my dad's saying happy birthday as well. And it all started at the age of 25 when I had an experience that I can maybe share later. Because, well, I don't know if I'm going to get back to bed. It's one of those things where, although I will have a bit of interruption that I will have to stop for a bit, but it's one of those things, like, it takes me at least 15 minutes to fall back asleep probably, and then 5 or 10 minutes later he's done his fitness thing and we have to get on with things. So it looks like it might, and my arthritis, my circulation, my whatever you want to call it, fibro, whatever it is, like my lower leg is like tingling, burning sensation as well. I did find the Voltaren when I was looking for the lip stuff though. Anywho, so maybe I should just quickly share it then. Maybe I should, because I'm mentioning it and you're here hearing it. Um, I was going through some stuff, and I mentioned it on here before, and it's very cool that this comes up on my birthday. And no need to be jealous. We can all get to this point or access someone who's hopefully not a scam. I'm not a scam. I can do this. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Um, you know, we can access somebody to help us channel. Again, I'm short on time. I really had not planned to podcast, and I very rarely plan. I really, very rarely podcast at this time of day. But I just felt like I wanted to share what happened. So basically, but back when I was 25, I was going through some stuff, and the long and the short of it is that I heard my son, my boy. What's most important in life is you do the things that you love and enjoy, that you can do, that you're comfortable with. The world's come a long way in accepting people's differences, challenges. Don't be scared to live life. Things will be okay. Hard to guarantee. Very nice message. Very special. Even if I don't actively carry it in my mind every day, it's there with me, and I'm giving it to you. My dad is giving it to you. The view count just doubled, and I don't know if it was right after or right during, possibly to the highest number I've seen it at in a long time. Although I deserve the high numbers, and I could mostly keep up with about half of those, it being in the conversation, or maybe all of them. And I hope you'll come back. And now it says 10. But anyway, I hope you'll come back in a couple hours or later tonight. I know it's different time zone, but, a couple hours, and then like 7 or 8 hours after that, we're going to be doing some music. We're going to be chatting. We're going to be laughing. We're going to be having a good time. So it's always about here. But at the same time, it's a special day, and I kind of just heard my dad say, and in a good way, you're a very special person. And you deserve a special day, and you always do. And so I'm thankful for those that subscribe and help me and join with me in the special day, and make it special, help make it special, and enjoy, each other's company. The likes, subscribes, hitting the notification bell, all that good stuff. Commenting if you like. But yeah, so, and it feels weird to say squid, but Squid, what are your thoughts before I wrap up? Um, Honestly, I'd really like to, even though I might seem awake, I'd like to wake up a bit more too. I'd like to have a bit of coffee. Um, there's an event I really wanted to go to today. The weather looks like it's going to be a little bit better, but still a little iffy. I don't think I'm going to make it. And then next week, I think it's into the plus temperatures. It's in the low minuses right now. But anyway, yeah. So, I mean, there was the example that happened before I was rolling. There's the one that just happened now. Um, to show you that it's the early stream was, well, yes, and I mean, again, no offense to anybody, and I'm glad that you're here, but I am one of those YouTubers who's like, views are great, But if it's not reaching, not make, there's nothing. I appreciate if somebody sticks around because they're curious and they think that they're intrigued or whatever. They like the vibe. Well, if would call for a like, I would believe. I won't ask again, but I'd rather just change the name because other people can see that you're a squid too. I mean, you can do what you want to do, but I mean, why do you want? I asked in that post. You can check it out. And if it didn't go to your notifications, you just go to my channel and then go to the post section. I also made one about kind of a few thoughts about the one for later today. Or I made a post about the one for later today. But anyway, point of the matter being is that is that I can't remember now. And no, don't worry. Well, it was kind of your fault. It was kind of your comment, but it was also my head. But yeah, so no, I had that experience beforehand, and then I had that experience just now during. And if you missed it, I welcome you to watch back on the playback and feel free to comment. Don't be shy. I don't bite usually. Sometimes I blow fire. That was a funny thing that came up the other day in a very deep moment. It wasn't that anybody watching was struggling with the thing that was being talked about, but it came up anyway. And yeah, I've done two of my most longest, and I do get long sometimes, with a fair number of likes. That's what I was saying. Yeah, so I mean, I'm glad to have the high numbers of views. I'm glad to have people sticking around and listening. But what matters more to me, and I think most YouTubers would be like this, but some people, you know, the algorithms and that some people don't struggle as much with their channel. I mean, and this one's ebbed and flowed, throughout its lifespan, just like I have, just like we all have, I guess, right? So, I mean, lately it's picking back up, I feel like, and so that's pretty cool and appreciated. But 5, 13. Maybe I will keep rolling. G can play you a bit of piano in the morning, maybe even pick a song. Doesn't have to be the you know what song. Maybe I'll sing it with him, and then I'll just keep rolling. Although I'd really rather be doing it on the laptop. Even though I said that other thing I said, it's really what I prefer. But then I'm more tempted to toggle between tabs, and it could freeze up. There is that. Man, this when you're not fully under the blanket, that fan is chilly. My hands are freezing. Anywho, that could be because of the fan or because of my health. But anyway, so basically, yeah, as you can guess what I was saying there, likes are even better. Maybe people they are hitting it and it's not sticking, or maybe they're just like, well, I only like if I really, really like. I kind of like, but I want to really, really like. Well, what do I need to do for you to really, really like? Because I'll do it. Oh, the answers I could get. I'm sure. I'm a fun guy. Not a mushroom, but I'm a fun guy. um, but maybe you're subscribed. Maybe you're watching this while you're doing something else. Or loved ones in your life are distracting you. Appreciate them. Appreciate them even if they annoy you. But I'm so glad that you also make time for me. Anyway, yes, I have bad teeth. But anyway, anywho. So, yeah. Thoughts about the experience I shared? The other thing is it's charging slow because I'm doing this perhaps, and maybe it's just charging slow. So, like, the other thing is that I'm not getting back to sleep. Not right now anyway. It doesn't even look like it's going to be that cloudy out. The other thing is that it's only at 11%. And we try and keep this device's charger up here. It's a spare phone that we got from a donation place. So, because otherwise I have to remember to bring it back up later, or come upstairs, realize it's not up here, and then go back downstairs for it. And I do the stairs quite often. Like, in that way, I am physically healthy. I've thought to myself even this morning, I'm fairly healthy. I do my best. Could I do more? Could a lot of us? Yeah, right? But then there's also the ambivalence. Do I care that much? But you know what? I guess there's many different ways to take your life. And I'm not going to get deep on this. I have in the past. I can point you in the direction of the videos where I talk about it in a way that might be helpful to hear if you're struggling with that. And I'm willing to be here for you as well. But, it's interesting to think, and I'm thinking of a friend's partner that passed actually too now. It's interesting to think like we can actually do something, but some of us actually can't, even if things are hard for us, and sometimes we consider it, or we can just kind of let our health slide a little bit, be kind of ambivalent, be like, well, I believe in heaven, part of me is okay being there, come what may, you know? And I do fall into that mindset fairly often, and I know I'm not the only one. And my friend was also talking about how sleep is important. She says she thinks she would have went anyway. She says that, I need water. Water is important. 15, nice. 9, watch it be 32 in a moment. Um, it's interesting though, and it's cool to see the retention, because I mean, like I say, the algorithms sometimes, and there's just so much on YouTube. Those are the biggest reasons why sometimes it's not what it should be, is what I feel. But anyway, basically but I mean, there's lots of other worthy people on YouTube as well. I'm not saying that. But anyway, she said sleep's important, but that she probably would have passed anyway. She said her body just went into a diabetic shock. She spent about a day and a half in a coma, and that was it. And she says, I feel like she's saying now, she says, because your dad passed young, she says, but I passed younger. And, when I can feel this, it's great. It's still hard. They're not in the physical. On days like today, and many other days, I wish that they were. I'm thankful for my ability. I truly am. It does a lot for me, and hopefully it helps heal other people too. But it's like, it's not the same. It's not the same as your loved one still being alive. It's just not. Anywho, and she's saying, your dad passed young at 49. I passed at 32. Talk about young. She says, you are older than me already. But she says, I don't want that to happen to you. She says, I want you to be having in-person lovely connections. And she says, things to do in your day. That's why I've given you the gift that is a gift from me. It's almost better, for instance, than the other hamper you used to go to. But she says, I lived a great life. She says, I did. And when I wasn't getting enough sleep, I was having fun with my friends, online or in person. I was working into the wee hours, hosting karaoke, and then we'd go to McDonald's, or we'd go back to their place, or we'd drive. I enjoyed my life. I enjoyed my family. And I miss them a lot. And she says, I'm so happy that you can hear me. You're my buddy, and I miss you too. But she says, I don't want that to happen to you. She says, it's only been about 6 months since I've been to the doctor, 6 or 7 months. And I think I need to do some online research and then see. But back then, he said, you don't look like you have diabetes. But he's also a doctor that kind of seems to shrug things off a bit. Jacqueline Cuevas, first-time viewer, welcome. G's going to be back in the room, and then we usually kind of cuddle with the dog a little bit, and I can guarantee you I will come back in about an hour. I seem like I'm awake, but this is also my angel's energy coming through here. But I haven't been awake very long. I don't want to disrupt the morning routine, and I have to charge this. But I'll give you a quick message. We had 11-1, the 2, and donations are welcome, even though it always takes a cut, but that's optional. I don't want to ignore you. This is the thing. I never intend to, unless they're trolls and stupid. And I have 2 mods now. They're very laid back and lovely. They're in different time zones, quite different time zones. One of them, if she was living in Tennessee, would be a bit closer, I think, but she's studying in Asia. So I'm a squid. Can I make you one? I don't know you very well, Jacqueline, but I'm almost tempted to ask there. I almost sense that maybe you relate to me a little bit, where sometimes you don't. You're looking for a sense of purpose, and meaning in life. I mean, you could say we all are, but honestly, a lot of people, maybe they're content in their life, but a lot of people, I think, really, they're in good places in their life. They're working a job they love that, is fairly stable. Maybe they have a side income just in case. Um, they've got a great family life. They've this, they've that. I might miss a few streams for work, but I could try. Okay. Yeah, what you do, whatever you can do. I'm gonna set it. Normally there's not issues, and that's great. I'm gonna set it as standard, and my request is that if needed, you put somebody on a timeout, and I'll address it. Really, the thing is, like, I have ADHD, and I am always curious about the comments, so I can keep up with them most of the time. But if I'm playing music, even then, still, I sometimes have ADHD, so I do my best to do covers without distractions. But if I'm playing music, I can't manage that kind of thing as much. Anywho, I think some stuff that's already been said, Jacqueline, may be for you, even if it. I think and honestly, other stuff in this podcast, and I also feel like maybe some of my stuff in my other live streams. You don't have to watch all of them in full duration unless you want to. Some of them are long. I feel like there's some things in there, some answers in there that even if not that directly from your mother, I feel like she's been watching me do podcasts. And I don't know if you have, but I'm happy you're here now. She's been watching me do podcasts, and there's been a few times where she's thought, there are some things that my daughter needs to hear. These are some things I want my daughter to know. So, like I say, I am in a bit of a rush at the moment. I'll come back shortly. But aside from anything I've said in here, that's, I think, what I'm going to leave you with. She's just fine. She loves you. These things may seem generic, those two things, but heaven is a place where they're just fine. They miss us. Of course they still love us. Of course you're doing them, they know you're doing the best you can in life. That makes them proud. And, and there's some questions that some people sometimes ask, and I just think, well, yeah, of course. And those are a couple of them. I think I will watch them for sure. Thank you so much, and thank you for your responses in time. Yes, you're welcome. Where in the world are you watching from, by the way? Anyway, I got to wrap up soon. G's going to come in here and say, you're podcasting? And I'll just say, yes, the angels visited me on my birthday. And they might again later. But, the online community, in-person connections are also very much important. And we all need that. And lately, the in-person side, especially since a series of workshops finished recently for me, has been a little quieter. And it's especially moments like that, not that I'm hearing from them constantly, mine or anyone else's. I mean, that's when the other person's on the other side most of the time, like to receive the messages. But anyway, I hate to wrap up when there's 9. If you don't mind, it's going to be at and it drops fast. I'm going to wrap up. This is at just early 20%. And, I appreciate the like, subscription, notification bell, the comments. I'm sorry to leave. I know 2 of you will at least understand. I hope the other 7 of you will. I don't have a lot of time right now, and I'd rather be doing this on the computer. We're down to 6. Tune back in a couple hours if you're feeling intrigued enough and you're curious enough. And I'm not doing much today until this evening, other than podcasting and trying to get through the day. So, bye for now.